This weekend just gone, I did a very thorough takedown of modern Spider-Man comics in my Spider-Woman unboxing video. And so here is a Spider-Man comic from over 10 years ago, written by the current fresh new voice they have on Spider-Man now. I hate this writer. He wrote some of those shitty New Muties comics too, like that one that I reviewed and called some of the ugliest art around, and then the artist saw the video and I felt horrible about it. Well, that was written by this redneck. This is the only Spider-Man comic I have by him, and this stood as, until I relented and checked out Nickelback Spencer's first issue, this was for the longest of time the last Spider-Man comic I bothered buying. I tried to come on to Amazing Spider-Man in the middle of the story just before this, with Juggernaut and Roy Sternman writing, and that was at least enjoyable, if not good. Then the very first issue after that lost me as a reader forever. While this is written by the redneck, and I would be willing to say almost entirely his work of art, I will acknowledge we are still in the Dan Slott-led period, where there were 4 or 5 regular writers, and they would handle a different story arc each. Dan Slott was the lead, he was the head writer, but this one is, in my opinion, mostly the redneck. Frustratingly, we have artwork by Crispin Halo, and he is worth so much more than this. His art is the saving grace here. It's the only thing good about the issue. I remember at the time thinking I hated the art just because I hated the issue so much. But no, as always, the art is great, and it gives us plenty of images of Spider-Man and Black Cat, which I am happy about. One of my resident viewers complains a lot about how little words there is on most of the pages of the more recent comics I look at. And I can't help but anticipate their response when they say that there are 2 pages here with a total of 7 words across them. Truthfully, remove all the words. Just let it be a Crispin Halo portfolio. His art is the only reason anyone should look at this issue. Because you see, straight away, Black Cat not only emasculates Spider-Man and is constantly insulting him to his face, but she also boasts about how he means nothing to her and how she is sleeping around with other guys, and that Spider-Man was an idiot to think that they had something special. Rather than swear about it, I'll say this is my favourite Spider-Man ship. Black Cat, she's wonderful. This is not Black Cat. Black Cat is someone who was totally eviscerated during the Dan Slott decade. You see, Dan Slott hates women. He hates women because they wouldn't gang out with him in high school. So he sees Black Cat, the same with Mary James. He sees these very attractive women, these very loving and beautiful women who truly love Peter Parker. And he thinks that cannot be the case because they are women. Dan Slott likes to think that he is like Peter Parker, or rather, he likes to make Peter Parker like him. And for that to work, Black Cat has to be a scheming, evil slut. Mary James has to be a shallow, heartless slut. These are the girls he didn't stand a chance with. These are the girls that ignored him. So they are evil. And this extends to many of the other writers in the talent pool at the time. I would call it the talentless pool, but Joe Casey was there, offsetting the average quality. Martin Quaid, he obviously hates women. The redneck here really hates women. And you can find his hatred of women evident in pretty much all his comics. Even from before he allied with Dan Slott and the talentless pool for Amazing Spider-Man. He already had, in Heroes for Hire, he had Black Cat get molested in her sleep by another main character, and he had it as a joke. That New Muties issue I mentioned, one of the main character beats was arguing and justifying how it is empowering for a woman to be punched in the face by a man. You are obviously seeing how much he hates women now, with how he's had Mary James move on, and presumably how he is okay with another piece of shit flaying her in an excellent men comic. He is white trash scum. And if you wanted any more proof of his hatred for women, how about a shit Lizard Man story where Lizard Man rapes his wife and eats his son? When you saw how many pages I skipped over there, you knew it was going to be cut short because I fucking despise this issue. And certainly this story. We are at a point where once again I am at a loss for what to do with this. The artwork is great. I love to look at the art on those first few pages. After that, the comic, it's boring until Lizard Man shows up. Crispin Halo, he is great. Really, he is great. He is not everyone's cup of tea, but even all the sitting down and talking shit is at least interesting to look at when he does it. But in this case, I didn't think it's enough to save this comic. I have been very inconsistent over the years about how much an artist can protect a book from being torn apart. I have ripped up Ed McGinster's art. I have ripped up an Astonishing Excellent Men issue. The other thing is a lot of the rape stuff, the orny Lizard Man sex shit, it isn't in this one. So am I tearing this up on the basis of what the story it began is. What I had to do was boil it down to my very basic mantra when it comes to destroying comics. I destroy comics that I think I am doing the world a favour by removing at least one copy of. I'm so sorry, Felicity. I love you so much. It should be mentioned, as far as powerful statements gone, this issue was enough to turn me off Amazing Spider-Man almost forever. The wedding retcon, that drove me away, but I came back twice for stories that caught me attention. With this, I was trying to get back into the series, but it was the final nail in the coffin. It sabotaged my preferred Spider-Man relationship. It had terrible writing by a very blatant, actual misogynist. It is a multi-part plotline about reptilian on woman rape. Why the fuck am I justifying tearing this up? People should be justifying not tearing this up. I'm going to be very fair though and give it 7 thumbs up. I will end this with, I did some research and I have worked out why the redneck hates women so much. It turns out he is married to one of those really annoying women who have been on SNL for ages.